happened over the weekend. The Nations Cup is still right there. Had 7 games, 13 goals. The Copa America, Brazil and Argentina are making headway into the quarters. And talking about speed, Hamilton is showing that it has what it takes to maintain the world record as a champion. And also, the big one hitting us this morning is that Roger Federer is in his 102 Master Grand Slam titles. So much we'll be looking at in the Nations Cup, like I said. But key is the Super Eagles performance just over the weekend. My name is Princewill, Oviesan, and they call me the Bill. I'm not alone in the studio this morning. Olorunsola is right here with me. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, 2 weeks. You're smiling because the Super Eagles won. And secondly, when the second goal came in for the Giants against the Falcons, the first person that came to my head was Tyler. I wish I was on Twitter with you. I would have just hit you straight. Now, Tyler, let's start from the Super Falcons. Especially, we have 2 African countries still in the Women's World Cup, Cameroon and the Super Falcons representing Nigeria. But almost on the same day, they both were knocked out.
Well, it still boils down to not understanding how to play at the world stage. Because it's quite unfortunate that this country, year in, year out, they kept on beating us. But last Saturday, we have to be fair because the decision of the referee didn't favor the Super Falcons. Although we didn't get to score any goal.
Why must we have this ill luck about referees? We had the last one in our last game, and suddenly a lot of people are pointing to the referee. Why can't we play as a team and achieve results on the field?
Yes, there is no room for excuse, as it were. But I still feel the football administrators, they shouldn't just be a member of the FIFA executive for nothing. Probably there should be a time that they will stand up on their feet and speak about these things, because many a times, even the men, there are some times that officiating does not go their way. They should just tell the FIFA or the football governing body if these things will keep on happening. I think there is a bias against Africans, most especially with what I saw with the Super Falcons on Saturday.
Are you not being eccentric a little bit? It's a game both teams are playing.
But the only thing was that we didn't get to score. Ordinarily, if we have scored and they disallowed it.
Do you remember I made so much emphasis about the Super Falcons not scoring goals in sort of our preview to the World Cup, and it did happen in the World Cup.
Yes, it shows that we don't get a lot of the member of the team. They are old leg. Like Asista Oshola, she has been doing fantastically well, playing for Barcelona. But the truth is that she's old, and we need to inject new blood. But I will keep saying this, that we need to imitate all this world power when it comes to female football, because they get things right. Why the Africans are not doing much at the world stage.
Right. Immediately after the games, news filtered in all over the world. It was on top news cables that the Super Falcons have refused, vehemently refused to leave their hotel because of allowances. We don't really get it right, do we?
Well, it's quite unfortunate, because I heard it in the news this morning that they staged a public protest in France, and they said they will not be coming back home if their money are not paid. And it's quite unfortunate that the NFF and the football handlers in Nigeria, they are into this scandal, because I don't expect them to actually be doing this. Ordinarily, I don't expect them to be doing it, because ordinarily, as a nation, there are a lot of criticism that has besieged the NFF. So I don't expect them to find themselves in this kind of. It's quite unfortunate, because these girls, although they didn't do well at the World Cup, but for the past on 9 occasions they have been the champion of Nations Cup. So for them to have not to have been paid their allowances with the way they finish at the World Cup, I don't think it's quite unfortunate. It's quite encouraging. It's a bad one for Nigeria.
All right, Tayo, good simple analysis. It's a bad one for Nigeria, but still, my question still remains: what was Denaby brought in to reorganize? One, what was Denaby actually brought in to impact? Two, then three, which is quite important, is there any difference between Thomas Denaby and our past coaches?
Well, the truth is, I don't see any difference, and we have to be fair here, because if you look at our last campaign at the AFCON, the female Nations Cup, we actually struggled. It wasn't as if we are better than South Africa. It was replicated, and I think we should learn to start using our own to coach these girls.
All right, the Super Falcons have gone to France. We saw it coming, and it did landed and got broken like a bag of calabash. They're back in square one. We'll start building up for another major championship in the continent and in the world. Let's come back to the continent. The AFCON is taking the center stage, and focus is divided right now between Copa America and the AFCON right here in the land of Federer called Egypt. And our Super Eagles managed, that's what I have to use, managed to get a victory against Burundi. So for so good, we've had 7 games, 13 goals at the score. Now, Tayo, before we extract the Super Eagles, your total take on the Nations Cup within the last couple of days in Egypt?
Well, for me, is an interesting one. And this particular campaign, like I was telling Olamide on Friday, when he was saying that there will be an opportunity for 4 best losers. And I said, many of these big names might just find themselves among the best losers, because with what Uganda did against Congo DR, I didn't see it coming.
Even what Madagascar did against Guinea.
And if you look at Zimbabwe too, they held Egypt. They held the Egyptians, although they are unable to score, but they gave all. And if you look at the Burundi, they almost caused an upset against the Super Eagles. But I'm still hoping, and I'm actually, let's just keep our finger crossed, because
keep our finger crossed time quickly. If you look at the teams that have started plying the trade, we still have games today. There's a big one coming today between Cameroon and South Africa. But if you look at the teams that are playing against so good, what chemistry do you want to view when it comes to the Super Eagles? Because this is where I'm coming to now. The Super Eagles is our major focus right now.
Well, for me, like I've said, I'm not giving them any chance. And with what I saw on Saturday, I don't think the Eagles stand a chance of going far in this competition. We have to be fair with ourselves, and then for them to actually perform shambolically against the Burundi, coming up against the big names in African football might not actually be something that will be encouraging at the end of the day. And something just telling me that we might just have a new champion at the end of the day.
Obviously, it's going to be a new champion, but let me still remain with the Super Eagles. I found out that the midfield was a little bit porous. Indeed, and Mikel were not coordinated. And good enough, General made the changes he's supposed to make on time. But from your take, I still hold on to, are we fit, Tayo? Are we really fit?
Well, in that game, I didn't see what Mikel Obi was doing on the pitch on that day. Although he is going to come up with a lot of experience, but probably he shouldn't have started that much. And for me, I think General is more of trial and error that he's doing with the team. Probably they should have given the job to a Nigerian. And probably, but at the end of the day, I just wish the Eagles all the best. But I don't see them going far.
All right, you don't see them going far. There's a bigger game for today in Group D that involves Cameroon and South Africa. And you know how South Africa qualified. There was a replay with Senegal to actually give them that slot to come to the Nations Cup. What's your vivid analysis of this game between Cameroon and Senegal?
It's going to be a very difficult one, because South Africans, they are big side, although they have won it just once. And Cameroon also, they have won it several times. So I'm just hoping to see a fantastic match. But at the end of the day, we might just get to see a draw.
Okay, quickly, we did mention something last week that the Nations Cup is not a high-scoring tournament. We've been seeing 1 goal, 2 goals. From your take, are we going to see more goals in upcoming games as the championship proceeds?
With what we saw against Guinea and Madagascar and DR Congo, I think the debutants might just take their chances and score a lot of goals at the end of the day.
All right, that's parts and pieces we can take from the AFCON Nations Cup. It's getting very interesting. All teams are actually showing that they're not in the AFCON to play. Like we say in this part of the world, not be play. Everybody wants to pick a point and get to the next stage. And it's So much of great interest that the Super Eagles picked their first 3 points. That reminds me, in the last 13 years, this is the first time they'll be winning their first group games. Is that a good omen?
Well, it's a good omen, but I still feel, I don't think they can go far.
All right, Tayo doesn't think the Super Eagles can go very far. Quickly, let's come to something quite interesting before we go to South America. We're talking about tennis. He's 37, still energetic, still one of the fierce tennis players you can look around for in the world of tennis. Roger Federer got it so nice in the Halle Open and is preparing for the Wimbledon. Isn't that wonderful?
It's a fantastic one for him, and there is nothing we can say, because when you talk about tennis, the first name that comes to mind is Roger Federer and Serena Williams.
Choice. Okay, Serena Williams, I agree. But choice in the case of Serena you make me laugh. I know you're laughing. But the truth is that Roger Federer is a phenomenon.
He's a phenomenon, he's a legend, and he has nothing to prove again for anybody that is a big name when it comes to the world of tennis. And hopefully, I just hope he will be able to do everything possible to pick the Wimbledon. And
that would be fantastic because he has a lot of contenders coming in. And in the women angle, there's a new #1. Her name is Ashley Beckes. She's from Australia, and suddenly an unknown lady becoming a known lady in the world of tennis.
Well, that was the what actually played out for Naomi Osaka.
Yeah.
Nobody knew her, and she just came from nowhere and she beats everybody, all the big names, and it's a good one for her. And I just hope Naomi Osaka will not go the way of the other ones, because like I said, since she started having injury, she has not been doing fantastically well.
That's true.
Probably she'll be able to come back when the Wimbledon starts.
All right, talking about comeback, the great man in the speed race, I'm talking about Lewis Hamilton, got it in the grand style yesterday in the French Grand Prix, and that's the 4th victory on the road. Right now, he has 36 points lead against Bottas and Vettel. When you talk about speed, car racing, Lewis Hamilton is becoming a legend, just like Schumacher.
Yes, he's becoming a legend, and if you can just give him like 1 or 2 years, he might just outshine, overtake Michael Schumacher, and it's a fantastic one for him. And like we always said, it's not just about looking good. The guy has been proving his worth.
You know what you know what makes me laugh of late? He shows the 6 packs. And whenever he's announced, he zip down and the ladies go, oh!
It's just like Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's all about fashion, but he also do when it comes to perform his duty on the pitch. So it's a good one for Lewis Hamilton that he has been picking all the laurels. I just wish him all the best.
The very best to that fantastic, handsome young man, showing that it is not just brain and being handsome, you can actually give the very best in you. Let's come back to football, but right now we're going to Copa America right here in South America, and it's hotting up. The quarterfinals are already pairing up, but 3 teams are showing that they are no pushovers. Finally, Argentina got a victory. Finally, Brazil smacked a team 5-1. I don't want to mention their name. But of great interest is the 2 teams that were invited as participants, Japan and Qatar. They've actually held their own.
Yes, it's a good one. They've actually held their own, although they've not been doing well. They've been beaten several times. But it's a good one for Argentina and for Brazil. But since before the beginning of this tournament, I've always been rooting for Lionel Messi, and I'm hoping at the end of the day he might just
get
prove
something,
all his critics wrong, and just win. If I thought he cannot win the World Cup at the end of the day, winning the Copa America is going to do something about his career.
Talking about winning for the national team, there are 4 top teams right now contending for the Copa America trophy. You have Chile, who are the defending champion. You have Uruguay. You have Brazil. You have Argentina. But there's also another spoiler, Paraguay.
Yes, and if you look, ordinarily, if you look at South American football, there is no
pushover.
No pushover, #1, and there is no favorites. Anybody can beat anyone. And I'm just hoping Argentina will be able to do everything possible to go. But something is still telling me that Chile might just they might just do it for the 3rd time in a row.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's Tayo telling you it's peace of mind. For me, I just want to enjoy good football as it comes to Copa America. That's all we can take this morning. But in the afternoon, we'll be having the preview and review of games in the AFCON 2019 right there in Egypt. And there will be a lot of other goodies that will come forth in that particular segment of the show. That is the road to AFCON 2019. But that as it may be, there are transfer gist we'll bring to you today. I know a lot of you are dying to know what is happening to your clubs. You can be rest assured we'll get that across to you. Tayo Olorunsola, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll go on this break. When we come back, precious and blessed will be running up the Superdawn show. Do stay tuned.